Hello there. Here's a thought for today. What is your unique selling point? I got thinking about this morning. I was out walking the dog over the local park with my wife Tracy, Connie, our Chocky Labrador, loves going over there. So we're over the sports field, and every Sunday morning there's, all people, types, ages, etc. playing sport. And one side of the field is dedicated to rugby in Petersfield, and the Petersfield Rugby Football Club are there all the time playing matches or doing training sessions. And we came across a training session for some 5-year-old boys, and it got me thinking about our U.S.P. So I need to talk tactics for a while just to explain what was going on. So here's a tactics board, and what was happening was training session for a whole load of 5-year-old boys, and they were split into 4 teams. 1, 2, 3, 4, split into 4 teams, and they were surrounding a corral that was full of rugby balls. And basically what they were doing, I suppose it was sprint testing. They were all sort of lined up in each of their teams, and when the whistle went, I don't know, for 5 minutes or whatever the time was, they were running back and forwards, collecting as many balls as they can and competing against themselves. And as I came up, I heard a coach saying, look, the other team, they won and they got 12 balls. So what we got to do, guys, is we just got to go out and get more than 12 balls this time. And, we watched them do it, and it was quite fun watching them. But as I was there watching them, it just struck me that I could see in the team of all the different teams of boys, 5-year-old boys, there were the people that I used to see in my classroom, and the same people that I used to see when I was playing sport myself. So basically, if you think back to your classroom, and then you imagine these boys, you'll have seen the same people that I saw. And you see these people at school, you see them at work, and you see them in life itself. There's the quiet guys, the introverted guys. There's the loud people, the extroverts. There's the confident people, the non-confident people, sporty people and non-sporty people. There's leaders, and there's followers. There's jokers, and there's those that are serious. And that's how it is in life. And I put it to you, and if you're thinking, if you've lived a little while and you look back to who you saw in school, you'd have seen those people. You could put names to those descriptions, and as you're in your workplace, you could do the same thing. And as you walk down the road, you can actually see the same thing. It's almost like you could decide who those people are going to go and be and what their interests are going to be in life. A bit wrong to be generic, isn't it? But you can't, you get my drift, you can do that. So what were the learnings from that? My learnings from that is actually we're all different, aren't we? We are all different people. But actually, when you look at those 5-year-old boys, before life and the negative condition of life gets to go to work on them and they lose a can-do spirit, or they lose inhibition, each of those guys, the quiet, the loud, the confident, the sporty, the leaders, the jokers, the serious people, the introverts, the non-confident people, they were all there in a team, and they were all playing ball. Because they could all play ball, because life hadn't come along to some of those people and told them that they can, and they hadn't withdrawn from the game. And one of the learning points is, if you're not careful, life can act on you, and you can withdraw from the game, from whatever game you want to play. You could withdraw from it through a lack of confidence or a lack of belief. But it didn't matter who they were, all 5-year-olds and all having a great time. So there's a lesson. Keep the mind of a child and be childlike, and keep that can-do, I can do anything I want to do attitude, and it'll take you a long way. And as I said, they were all different. You're different to me, and I'm different to you. We are all different. But if you want to find your happiness, I put it to you that we all need to find ourselves. We need to understand who we are and be who we are. Celebrate who we are. So who are you? Are you the quiet or the loud one, the confident or the non-confident, the leader or the follower, the joker or the serious? There's no right or wrong. It's just how we are. But you need to be confident in who you are, understand who you are, and be who you are. Celebrate you. Because if you try to be someone else, it's not going to work for you in life, because you're going to be living a lie. And when you live a lie, you're not really happy, and you're not being true to yourself. For me, for example, in my younger years in a management role, I come up to senior management, and people would come up to me and say, well, how would you like to be addressed if I went into a new place of work? And I'd say, I grew up a little bit and thought, it's about time I got called Mr. Late. I said, just call me Mr. Late. I was never Mr. Late, not ever in my life. I was always Dave to whoever I knew, amongst other names, of course. But I was Dave. But for a while, I was walking around trying to be Mr. Late, and I wasn't happy with it. Sometimes someone would shout out, "Oh, Mr. Late," and I wouldn't ignore them because I didn't know they was talking to me because I was Dave. And I wasn't happy, and I soon reverted back, because you revert back to type anyway. That's the thing. I reverted back to type, and that was being Dave. That's who I am. Hello, I'm Dave. So we need to know who we are. And if you're trying to live a lie to be somebody else, people will see through you because you won't be able to keep it up. And if you are trying to do all of that, to kind of lie to yourself, lie to other people, kid yourself, kid other people, try to be who you're not being, you're not living you will not be happy, and that's the point. You just want to be happy. So you've got to understand who you are. That's my learning from a little dog walk this morning. Understand who you are and celebrate who you are. We all have our own USP, our own unique selling point. You have your own unique selling point. You need to find it, understand it. And once you know who you are and you, then go out and celebrate it. Live your brand. Promote your brand. And you will find that people will buy into you and buy into your brand, buy into your USP. So quite a lot of learnings this morning from just walking a dog, and I thought it would be very useful to share it with you. Because you know, when you share and you try to tell people something, you learn more yourself when you're trying to teach people than those that you're trying to teach. So I'm just trying to spread the word, ingraining the stuff that I'm talking to you in my own head. But you know what? I believe it's good stuff. And that's why I'm taking the time and trouble to share it with you. So if you don't know what your USP is, think about it, celebrate it, and go out and live the brand. Be you. Bye.